Hey everyone, and welcome back to Soft Spoken English. I'm Zara.
And I'm Ali. So glad you're joining us today.
Ali, before we start, can I ask you something totally random?
Uh-oh. Whenever you say totally random, I get nervous.
No, nothing scary. Okay, so when you drive to work, do you look at the road, see the road, or watch the road?
That's actually a really good question. I never thought about it that way. I'd say I watch the road, but also look at signs.
Exactly. And that tiny confusion, that is today's entire episode.
So you tricked me into the lesson already.
I always do. Welcome, everyone. Today, we're talking about three words that confuse even advanced English learners: look, see, and watch.
And honestly, even native speakers mix these up in casual conversation. So if you've ever been unsure which one to use, you're in very good company.
Very good company. Okay, Ali, should we start with the simplest way to think about all three?
Let's do it.
So, the biggest thing to understand is this. These three words are all about your eyes, but they describe very different relationships between you and what your eyes are doing.
Right, and a really simple way I like to think about it is intention and duration.
Ooh, say more.
Okay, so see is passive. It's what happens to your eyes without you trying. Like right now, I see the microphone in front of me. I'm not trying to see it, it's just there.
It just enters your vision.
Exactly. No effort, no intention.
And then look is when you make a choice. You turn your eyes towards something. There's intention, but usually it's quick. You look at something and then move on.
Like if I said, look at that bird outside the window.
Right, you're directing attention, pause, but you're not necessarily staying with it.
And watch, that's where the duration comes in. Watch is for things that move, change, or happen over time, and you give it your full attention for a while.
Like watching a match, or watching clouds move, or watching someone cook.
There's a continuity to it. You're tracking something.
I love that word, continuity. Can we just recap that for everyone really clearly?
Please, yes.
So, see is passive, no intention. Look is active, intentional, but brief. Watch is active, intentional, and extended over time.
That's it. That's the whole framework. We could end the episode here.
We will not be ending the episode here, Ali. Okay, let's go deeper. Let's start with see because I think it's the most interesting one, actually.
Really? Why interesting?
Because see does so many jobs in English. It's not just about your eyes.
That's true. Like, I see what you mean.
Right, that has nothing to do with eyes. It means I understand.
Or let me see if I can help. That means let me check or let me try.
Exactly. So see in English has this deeper meaning of perceiving or understanding something.
And in its literal meaning, when something just enters your field of vision, you can't really use look or watch instead. It would sound wrong.
Give us an example.
Okay, I was walking and I suddenly saw an accident. You wouldn't say I suddenly looked an accident or I suddenly watched an accident. Well, the second one kind of works, but it changes the meaning.
It does. If you say, I watched the accident, it sounds like you stood there and observed it happening, which has a very different feeling.
Yeah, a slightly uncomfortable feeling.
A little bit, yes. Okay, here's another thing about see. It often works with the senses in a metaphorical way. See for understanding, hear for listening to advice, feel for emotion.
Oh, like, I hear you. That means I understand and I acknowledge your feelings.
Right, so see fits into that group of words where we extend physical senses into emotional or intellectual meaning.
There's also see for relationships, like they've been seeing each other for a year. That means they're dating.
Yes, so see means understand, perceive, notice, date. It's a very busy word.
The most overworked word in English that needs a vacation. All right, let's talk about look. And I think the best way to explain it is it's about direction. You point your eyes somewhere on purpose.
Yes, and you can command someone to look. You can't really command someone to see.
That's a great point. Look at me when I'm talking to you. Very dramatic.
Very dramatic, but natural. But you'd never say, see me when I'm talking to you in that way.
Look also works in phrases. Look into something, meaning to investigate.
Look after, meaning to take care of.
Look forward to anticipate something with excitement.
Look up to someone, to admire them.
Look down on someone, the opposite.
And then there's look as an appearance word, like you look tired today, or that dress looks beautiful.
Oh, right, that's a completely different use. It's like seem or appear.
The sky looks like it's going to rain. You're describing how something appears to you.
So look has three main jobs: directing your gaze intentionally, phrasal verb combinations, and describing appearances.
3 jobs. Very organized, this word.
Very organized, unlike C, which just does whatever it wants.
Oh, exactly. C is that one colleague who takes on every project.
Meanwhile, look is very focused, very specific.
Okay, my personal favorite, watch.
Why is it your favorite?
Because it's so cinematic. When you watch something, there's attention there, there's care, you're present.
I love that. And the key thing about watch, it's almost always for moving things or things that change.
Like you watch a film, watch a game, watch children playing, watch the sunset.
But you don't watch a painting because a painting doesn't move.
Right. You look at a painting, you look at a photograph, you look at a menu. These things don't change, so watch would be wrong.
Unless you're at one of those art exhibits where the paintings are moving.
Yes, okay, modern art changes the rules, but in everyday English, still correct.
There's also watch out, which means be careful. Watch your step, watch your back.
Those are interesting because they use watch to mean maintain awareness, stay alert.
Which connects to the idea of watching being sustained attention. You're staying alert over a period of time.
Like a night watchman watching over something.
Exactly. Guarding, protecting through observation.
And watch also has a beautiful emotional tone. When a parent watches their child sleep, there's so much tenderness in that word.
Yeah, that's a really nice observation, Zara. A short, warm pause.
Okay, I'm getting sentimental. Back to grammar.
Back to grammar. Okay, let's do some tricky situations, because there are sentences where two of these words could technically work, but they mean different things.
Yes, this is the fun part.
Let's take I looked at the stars versus I watched the stars.
Ooh, so I looked at the stars, you glanced up, noticed them, directed your gaze, maybe for a moment.
And I watched the stars. You were out there for a while. You were present, maybe lying on the grass.
Maybe with a cup of tea.
Maybe with a cup of tea. And you were really there in that moment, following their movement across the sky.
Beautiful, completely different feeling from the same basic action.
Another one, did you see the news versus did you watch the news?
Interesting. So, did you see the news often means, did you happen to catch it? Did you notice? Maybe it came up on your phone.
And did you watch the news means did you sit down and watch the news program intentionally, actively?
Right. One is accidental, one is deliberate. The meaning shifts.
And what about I saw the movie versus I watched the movie?
Technically, in everyday conversation, people use both. But technically, I watched the movie emphasizes the experience of watching, being present, attentive.
And I saw the movie just means it happened. It was seen. Past event done.
So a critic would probably say, I watched the film. And someone at dinner would say, I saw it. It was great.
I love that example.
Let's talk about a common mistake learners make.
Yes, go for it.
People often say, I was watching him in the crowd and then I looked him. Pause. Which part is wrong?
Looked him. You can't look someone directly like that. You have to say looked at him.
Exactly. Look always needs the preposition at when you're talking about something you see.
Look at her. Look at that. You can't just look something.
Unless it's in a phrasal verb structure like look into it or look after the dog.
Right, those are different. Those phrasal verbs have their own meaning.
And watch doesn't usually need a preposition for the basic meaning. You just watch something.
I'm watching you, dramatic voice.
Very ominous, but grammatically correct.
Okay, Zara, let's do some real-life scenarios. I'll describe a situation and you tell me which word fits best.
Ooh, I love this. Yes, let's go.
Scenario 1. You're driving, a cat runs across the road. What happened?
I saw a cat run across the road. Because you weren't expecting it, it just entered your vision.
Perfect. Passive, unplanned. Scenario 2. Your friend says, "What are you doing tonight?" And you plan to stay home with a film.
I'm going to watch a film because it's intentional, it takes time, and it's a moving image.
Exactly. You wouldn't say I'm going to see a film in that context. Well, you could, but watch feels more natural for at home.
Right, see a film is more commonly used for the cinema.
Oh, that's actually a really interesting distinction. I'm going to see a film at the cinema.
Because see in that context means attend, experience, like see a show or see a concert.
But watch a film at home.
Yes, the location changes which word sounds more natural. Isn't that interesting?
English is endlessly surprising. Okay, scenario 3. You're at an art gallery. There's a painting you really love. You stand in front of it for 10 minutes.
So you'd say I looked at the painting, even though you were there for a long time, because a painting doesn't move. Watch needs motion.
But could you say I gazed at the painting, like a more advanced vocabulary option?
Oh, yes. Gaze is a beautiful word. It means a long, gentle, soft look, almost like you're lost in it.
I love that. So our vocabulary for looking is actually really rich.
Oh, very rich. You have glance, stare, gaze, peek, glimpse, observe.
And each one has its own emotion and intensity.
Which actually brings us to something important. Even within look, there's so much variety.
Glance is quick and light, like you just catch a glimpse.
Stare is intense and prolonged, sometimes rude depending on context.
Yes, staring at the bus is not recommended.
Generally not, no.
You know what I want to explore? The emotional texture of these words, because I think that's something learners don't always think about.
Yes, because language isn't just grammar, it's feeling.
So think about she looked at him, very neutral, an action.
She saw him, also neutral. Past tense, it happened.
She watched him. Suddenly there's a whole story there, isn't there?
There is. She watched him has longing in it, or wariness, or something.
It implies time, attention, emotion.
The reader fills in the rest.
I think that's why authors choose these words so carefully. The right word creates the right atmosphere.
He watched her leave. Pause. That hits differently than he saw her leave.
Yeah, it really does. A gentle pause between them.
Okay, I'm getting all sentimental again. Back to grammar.
Back to grammar. Okay, let's go through some real common idioms because learners hear them all the time.
Great idea. Go ahead.
Idiom 1, see eye to eye. What does that mean?
To agree with someone. Like, we don't always see eye to eye, but we respect each other.
Idiom 2, look before you leap.
Think carefully before you act. Don't rush into things.
Idiom 3, watch your mouth.
Be careful what you say. Someone's probably upset.
Yes, very direct advice.
Ooh, I have one. See the bigger picture.
To understand the situation as a whole, not just the small details, step back and look at everything.
And look on the bright side.
To find the positive in a difficult situation, be optimistic.
Such a hopeful little phrase.
Idiom 5, watch this space, meaning wait for more information, something is coming.
Yes, you see that in business emails a lot. We have exciting news. Watch this space.
In corporate voice, watch this space, stakeholders.
Every office email ever.
Idiom 6, look the other way.
To deliberately ignore something wrong that's happening.
Oh, that's a powerful one. Usually used for situations where someone could have stopped something but chose not to.
Exactly. Very moral weight to that phrase.
And idiom 7, see red, to become extremely angry.
I always
always find that one funny, like your vision literally changes color.
I mean, maybe it does. When you're very angry, everything feels different.
This one's interesting. You could say looking at old photos because photos don't move. You'd look at them, not watch them.
Right, even though you spent a long time doing it, they're still images, not moving things.
So duration doesn't automatically make it watch. The nature of the object matters.
Okay, fourth one, and this is a bit tricky. I blank him carefully to see if he was lying. Longer pause.
Watched. I watched him carefully because you're observing behavior over time. His expressions, his body language. That's sustained attention.
Exactly, and there's intentionality there. You're doing it on purpose. You're tracking changes.
You're not just looking at him, you're studying him.
Great distinction. Last one. She blank the fireworks with tears in her eyes. Pause.
Watched. She watched the fireworks because they move, they unfold over time, and there's so much emotion in that word watched here.
Yeah, she saw the fireworks is fine grammatically, but she watched carries the weight of that moment.
The feeling, the presence.
Beautiful.
You know, Ollie, I think one thing we haven't talked about is how culture shapes how we use these words.
What do you mean?
Like, in British English, I'll see to it means I'll take care of it. It's a very British way of saying leave it with me.
That's true. And in American English, you'd more likely hear, I'll look into it, or I'll handle it.
Or even I'll check it out, which is look into it in a more casual form.
So even regionally, these words shift in their preferred use.
Which is why exposure to lots of English, films, podcasts, conversations, helps so much. You absorb the patterns naturally.
And for our listeners who are learning, please don't memorize rules in isolation. Put the words in context. Make sentences from your own life.
Oh, that's such good advice. Like, think of 3 things you saw today, 3 things you looked at, and 1 thing you watched. Your own day becomes your vocabulary lesson.
Your own day becomes your vocabulary lesson.
Exactly. Language is lived.
Let's do a quick comparison for people who like summaries. I'll describe a feature and we say which word it belongs to.
Let's go.
Okay, passive, no effort, just happens.
See.
Active, intentional, brief.
Look.
Active, intentional, extended, for moving things.
Watch.
Used for understanding or perception metaphorically.
See. I see what you mean.
Used with at as a preposition.
Look. Look at that.
Used for films, sport, and moving events at home.
Watch.
Used for attending theater, cinema, concerts.
See. I'm going to see a play.
Used for appearances. You blank tired.
Look. You look tired.
Haha, we just fired through that.
We did. I feel like we should win a quiz show.
We'd be unstoppable.
Okay, we got some questions from our community that I want to address because they're so good.
Yes, our listeners always ask the best questions.
So, one listener, and I won't say the name, but you know who you are, asked, why do we say watch TV but look at a phone?
Oh, that is a genuinely great question.
Right? Because technically your phone has moving images too, so why look at a phone and not watch a phone?
I think it's because phone usage is more fragmented. We scroll, we check, we glance. It's not one sustained experience.
Yes, TV is traditionally one long, dedicated viewing session. Your attention is given over to it.
But language is catching up. Now you do hear people say, I was watching videos on my phone, or I was watching TikTok.
Right. When you're specifically watching content with intention and duration, watch becomes appropriate. But I was looking at my phone. That's general, scrolly, unfocused thing. That's look.
The scrolly, unfocused thing. That's very accurate. Another question from a listener. Can I say I'm watching you to a friend as a joke?
Yes, absolutely. I'm watching you. It's a playful, slightly theatrical thing to say.
Like in a movie when someone points 2 fingers at their eyes and then at the other person.
Exactly. It implies sustained, deliberate surveillance in a friendly way.
Very friendly surveillance.
And the last question, in the sentence, I see you, what does it really mean?
Oh, this has layers.
It does. Literally, I see you means you're visible to me. But in modern use, especially after the film Avatar, I see you has become a profound statement. I truly perceive you. I recognize your whole person.
It's almost spiritual.
It really is. And in everyday English, saying I see you to a friend who's struggling can mean I notice, I recognize your pain, you're not invisible.
That's a really beautiful use of such a simple word. Let's go a bit advanced now for the listeners who want more. There are some sentence patterns where even fluent speakers pause.
Yes, like I could see him thinking versus I could watch him think all day.
Interesting. I could see him thinking, like you noticed the physical signs of him being deep in thought.
His furrowed brow, his silence, his eyes far away, you perceived it.
And I could watch him think all day, like it's almost pleasurable. You're so engaged with observing that process.
It has warmth in it, admiration almost.
What about I'll be seeing you as a farewell?
Classic. That's an old-fashioned, slightly formal or poetic goodbye. I'll be seeing you implies we'll meet again in an open-ended, warm way.
There's even a famous song, I'll Be Seeing You. Very nostalgic.
Yeah, it has a whole mood.
And see you later, which is just our everyday goodbye now.
Which is interesting because half the time you won't see them later at all. It just means goodbye.
Language is wonderfully imprecise sometimes.
That's what makes it human. Okay, Ollie, we're coming to the close of today's episode. What's your biggest takeaway from everything we've covered?
I think for me, it's that these words aren't just grammar rules. They're windows into how English speakers experience attention and perception.
Oh, I love that.
Like the language encodes how long you look, how intentionally you look, and whether the thing you expect to move or change. That's actually fascinating.
And it tells you something about how we value attention in English-speaking cultures. Watching implies investment. Looking implies direction. Seeing implies openness.
For our listeners, what I'd say is, next time you're writing or speaking in English and you reach for one of these words, just ask yourself 2 questions. 1, was this intentional or accidental? 2, was it brief or extended?
Those 2 questions will almost always guide you to the right word.
Simple but effective.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes with these. Even if you say watch when you should say look, a native speaker will understand you completely. They might just notice something slightly off.
And with practice, it becomes instinct. You stop thinking about it and just feel which word is right.
That's the goal, isn't it? Language as instinct.
Language as instinct. Smiles and voice.
All right, let's do our final quick recap. Super simple. See, look, watch.
See, passive, accidental, no effort. It just happens.
Look, active, intentional, brief. You direct your eyes on purpose.
Watch, active, intentional, extended, for moving things. Full attention over time.
And beyond the grammar, these words carry emotion, nuance, and cultural meaning that will make your English richer every time you use them thoughtfully.
Beautifully said, Zara.
Thank you, Ollie.
Thank you so much for listening to Soft Spoken English today. If this episode helped you, please share it with someone who's learning English.
And leave us a comment. We love hearing from you. Tell us which of these 3 words you find most confusing, or give us a sentence using all 3.
Ooh, that's a challenge.
A challenge for the comment section. Let's see what you come up with.
Until next time, keep listening, keep speaking, keep growing.
This is Zara
And Ollie,
from Soft Spoken English.
take care of yourselves. Bye for now.
Soft outro music fades in gently.